Hey everyone, Nebers here, and welcome to the IBL draft something or other. Draft analysis. Yeah, I'm already off to a great start. So, my last league that I was in, that ended up getting canceled due to people having, conflicts and dropping out. But we got off to a pretty bad start in that league. I inherited a team from someone who had dropped out. It wasn't really the type of team I like, but I did okay with it. I managed to get one win for 2 losses in 3 weeks. It's bad, but I mean, I can do better. And I learned a lot. So I'm off to a new league called the IBL, the International Battling League. And I'm in it with a few people who were in the previous league as well. We got Sock, who got me into this, Brandon, and a few others from that league. And this time I did my own draft, which is like the best part of a draft league. It's really where half the fun is. So the league rules were pretty much the same, although in this league you get 11 Pokemon instead of 10. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like 10 is enough, but hey, we got 11. It's more to work with. Of course, it's also more to prep for. In this league, it is similar to the WBE, if you guys have been watching that, where you are allowed only to Gigantamax. So no Dynamaxing. You are only allowed to Gigantamax, and you have to draft a Pokemon to Gigantamax. That Pokemon is allowed to hold whatever they like, and they are allowed to Gigantamax whenever you like. It's not. Whereas in the PCL, you could, you had to Dynamax on your first possible opportunity to do so. So your Gigantamax Pokemon can click a normal type move, and then like that Gigantamax, for instance. Mine has a move, we'll get to that in a very hot minute. Mine has a move that I'm going to be clicking and then Gigantamaxing. So similar to last time, it's points based for some free Pokemon. So I get to pick one Pokemon from 5 tiers, a second one from tier 3, a Gigantamax Pokemon, and then I get 4 free Pokes with a limited number of points. I won't really go into detail on the point system. Needless to say, it was fun, sort of narrowing down what Pokemon I could choose and which ones were too expensive. That's just done so people don't run away with too strong of a team. So the rules are pretty much standard OU rules. Baton passing is allowed in this league. It was not in the previous one. However, you are not allowed to baton pass stats and speed, which is a complicated rule, but it's basically if you have speed stats, you can't pass them with any other stat. So you can pass pure speed, and you can pass any other set of stats, like you could pass +2 defense, +2 special attack, but you can't pass like attack and speed. Yeah. We got the 9th pick, and I was really nervous about having such a late pick. There are 16 teams, by the way. So I'm smack dab in the middle, which, I mean, it's kind of nice when you're doing a draft because it's not done all at once. You don't sit down for like an hour or 2 hours and just start picking pokes. It's done over a long period of time, so being in the middle, I have to wait the least out of anyone. So my strategy going into this was to get a solid core of Pokemon that had a lot of immunities, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of different ways of playing them. So without any further ado, my first pick is Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. Oh yeah, I picked my Gigantamax Pokemon First thing, this thing was actually an expensive Gigantamax Pokemon. I had to pay an extra 20 points out of like 400 just to buy it. But it is definitely worth it. This thing is a monster. It's a bit frail and a bit slow, but the frailness is made up for with its ability, or with Dynamax, because its HP, which is pretty good at 95, that gets doubled. And I can make up for my low defense with a move called Bulk Up. And its speed is countered by its Prankster ability, so I can click Prankster Thunder Wave on a Pokemon, paralyze it, and then Gigantamax, and I'll be faster, probably. This thing is just a massive threat. Its special Gigantamax move, it's called G-Max Snooze? I think that's what it's called. It's basically any Dark-type move that is an attack turns into G-Max Snooze. It's just a hard-hitting Dark-type attack with the chance of making an opponent drowsy. So drowsiness is usually inflicted by a move called Yawn. This is like a 50% yawn on top of any attack I make. Which is really nice because if they stay in, they fall asleep on the next turn. They switch, or they have to switch out. So it's a sort of darned if you do, darned if you don't. I really like that. It's got the Prankster ability, which allows it to go first when clicking any status type move. Just very handy. It also has Frisk and Pickpocket, which can be some useful abilities. I'll probably use Frisk. I doubt I'm going to use Pickpocket, but who knows? Maybe I could do something pretty crazy with it. It's got an amazing typing. Dark Fairy is a unique typing to it, and it has such amazing coverage. It can pretty much hit anything at once neutrally. It's got great attack. Look at that attack. It's 120, but its special attack is also pretty good, 95. And the best part is it gets moves like Nasty Plot and Bulk Up. So I can make either of those much stronger. And, you know, physical attacks, you get that +1 for fighting type moves when you Gigantamax, which is also amazing. This thing has just incredible potential, so much versatility. It's a great sweeper and just an amazing breaker as well, which is kind of what you want to do, either sweep or break with your G-Max. This thing can also, I can run this thing defensively for utility. I can set up screens with Prankster. I can T-Wave things. Like, as long as I have this thing, nothing can sweep me, really. So it's pretty amazing. And it was my first pick. My second pick is Jirachi. Oh, by the way, I'm giving these guys Star Wars nicknames, in case you hadn't noticed. They got the cool Star Wars font at the bottom. So yeah, we got Anakin was the G-Max Grimmsnarl. We got Luminara Unduli or something like that. For our next pick, it is Jirachi. This thing is a monster. It is a perfect partner for Grimmsnarl. They cover each other's weaknesses. I think Jirachi perfectly covers Grimmsnarl's weakness, and Grimmsnarl covers the dark and the ghost weaknesses from Jirachi. This thing, oh my god. This thing is one of the best utility Pokemon in the game. It's got U-turn for pivoting. It can Wish Pass. So Wish basically half the health to whoever's your active Pokemon at the end of the next turn. So I can hit Wish and then U-turn out to anyone I want, and they get half of Jirachi's, well, they get healed half of Jirachi's max HP, which is awesome. I can set up Stealth Rocks. It can use Healing Wish. And, you know, it's got some other crazy moves. It's got Serene Grace, so I can set up with, I could do that, I think it gets Ancient Power, which with Serene Grace gives me +2 in every stat. Or no, it just gives me +1 in every stat. It's just 20%, twice as likely as happening. So that is, I could do some crazy stuff with that. It can set up with Calm Mind and Stored Power. And One of the things that this thing can do, which is really nasty, is Iron Head flinch. So this thing, the Serene Grace doubles whatever percentage chance secondary effect a move has. And one of its moves is Iron Head, which has a 30% chance of flinching. So with Serene Grace, that is a 60% chance. So if this thing is outspeeding something, I hit it with an Iron Head, 60% of the time they lose their turn. Like, that's how good this is. And you know how I mentioned setup earlier with Calm Mind and what's it called? Not Stored Power. Cosmic Power. With Calm Mind and Cosmic Power, I can Baton Pass those, because Jirachi has Baton Pass. Also, look at this thing. It's got perfect stats, 100 and everything. It's amazing. I can run this thing physically. I can run this thing special. It's great. It is fantastic. And I'm surprised I managed to get it this late in the second round. This thing is a first round pick in my book. So, next up, we have Flareon. This thing completes my Fairy Dragon Steel core, which is a common core that you'll find in draft leagues. And this was also the reason why I used Star Wars nicknames. We've got Flareon Jin. Oh yeah, round 3 pick. This thing is pretty good. It's very fast at 100 speed, which is really good in this generation. 100 attack is pretty good. It's got setup potential with Dragon Dance. It's got more immunities. So the first Pokemon we drafted has an immunity to Dragon types. Second Pokemon has an immunity to... I forgot. It also... Grimmsnarl has immunity to Dragon and Psychic. Jirachi has an immunity to Poison. This guy has an immunity to Ground and an immunity to Electric because its ability is Levitate, so it can miss any ground moves, which is awesome because Jirachi is weak against ground moves. So, this thing is like the perfect core to have. They all cover each other's weaknesses very well. This thing is a good pivot. It has U-turn as well. It's got Defog. It's got some priority moves with First Impression. It's got a very, very extensive move pool in terms of type coverage as well. And again, we can sweep with it with Dragon Dance and like Edgequake, which is really awesome. That's my core, which is something I was really happy to get a strong core like this. This is gonna allow me to, set up, do crazy things, and just kick butt, which is what I plan on doing. Next up, we have Mace Windu. You might be wondering, why did you name a Roseread Mace Windu? It's because in its shiny form, its roses become black and purple, and I plan on running this thing in its shiny form. The sprite that I used, however, is not shiny. But anywho, we got Roseread. This is a very strong special attacker. So most of the guys that I picked already, they generally are run physical. Sometimes you run Jirachi special, but most of the time it's a physical for each of them. So I needed a strong special attacker, and Roseread was a great choice for that. It has 125 special attack, which is just fantastic. Spit F is pretty good too, and it's got a great speed tier at 90. One of the moves it gets is called Leaf Storm, which is really powerful. Does a ton of damage. I can hit a lot of things pretty hard with that. But one of the best things about Roseread is that it gets spikes and toxic spikes. So I can start setting hazards up with this. Yeah, and it's even got sleep powder for when I need to put more people to sleep. And it's got aromatherapy, which is a great way of healing anyone who gets hurt on my team. Anyone who gets poisoned, that is. Or paralyzed or whatever. And I think Jirachi also gets Heal Bell, so I have two, cleric potential users. So, that is Roseread. Gonna take a quick intermission here. Alrighty, intermission over. Well, not quite. I went and got myself a lovely cup of hot cocoa because it's snowing. And that's no good. I was ready for spring, but nope. So anyway, once I picked Roseread, I noticed that I had 2 fire weaknesses, 2 ice weaknesses, and 2 fairy weaknesses. And all of that gets solved with a fire type Pokemon. So my next pick, I wanted a fire type Pokemon, but not just any fire type Pokemon. Remember, I'm trying to get something with a lot of immunities, and I am trying to get something that, what do I say, is a very, very strong special attacker. So I really, really, really wanted Chandelure here. Unfortunately, it did not make it back to me. But it's okay. I had 2 backups in mind. I could either take Rotom Heat again, which I would have very much liked. I would have loved to have Rotom Heat. That didn't make it back to me either. And the worst part is, the person who picked it up wanted a different Pokemon and did not realize that they wanted Rotom Cut instead, and that it was the same price. So, yeah, they didn't want it. And the guy who drafted Chandelure has since dropped it. It is currently available. I could go pick it up right now, but I really shouldn't, because I built the rest of my team around the next Pokemon. Anywho, aside from that, I think there was another good Pokemon that was on my radar, and that was Arcanine. And I don't know where that went. It might have gone before Roseread did, but I mean, there's another fire type Pokemon gone. It's okay. I can pivot. There's a water type Pokemon that I really want. There's also Silvally. Silvally went. And this water type was Rotomosh. Yeah, that was available too. And you know, when I picked Roseread, I thought, hey, Rotomosh is probably going to make it back to me, because everyone between me and my next pick either already had a water or an electric or had a volt switcher. Unfortunately, that last category didn't hold up, because the person who only had a volt switcher and neither an electric nor a water went ahead and picked it up. So yeah, I was without any of my next picks. So I sort of panicked, and I picked up a Pokemon that I've wanted to try in Draft League. And that would be Alolan Ninetales. Yes, this one is Ayla Sakura. She's the hottest of the Jedi. Those of you who didn't know. Alright, that's enough of that. So yeah, Alolan Ninetales is another fairy type. It is of the ice type, so it's kind of an ice type switch in. It's got some decent bulk to it. Nothing to write home about. It's got great speed, but it doesn't have much in the ways of attacking capabilities, though it does get Foul Play, which is a physical dark type attack that uses your opponent's attack, which is really nice. And it gets Nasty Plot, so that 81 special attack just goes through the roof after a Nasty Plot, and it's got some really good speed. But the best part about Alolan Ninetales is it sets the weather. When you bring it in, that Snow Warning ability, that sets Hail for 5 turns, or 8 if I have the Icy Rock for whatever reason. I doubt I ever will bring that. But who knows, I could. Yeah, so this thing gets in a move called Aurora Veil, which automatically sets up a protect and a light screen. Not a protect and a light screen. Wow, I almost said like a protect and a shell. Like it was Final Fantasy. This sets up basically something that reduces incoming physical and special attacks for the next 5 turns or 8 turns if I'm holding a Light Clay, which I will likely be holding a lot. So, this thing allows me to set up. Yeah. I go into this thing, set up the Aurora Veil, switch out into another Pokemon, and I've got a few Pokemon that can, switch into some of the things it's weak to, like what's it got a weakness to? Fighting? I guess I'd really not great switch into that. And it's not weak to it, it's got Fairy. Rock, yes, I could, if I'm seeing a rock type attack coming, I get to switch into Flygon, and then Dragon Dance under an Aurora Veil. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's good. It's got some other tricks up its sleeve that I won't mention, but I'm pretty happy about. And it pairs kind of well with Roseread, because one of the abilities it gets is called Hex, which is a ghost type move that doubles its attack if the opponent is suffering from a status like poison. So Roseread sets up T-Spikes, and Ninetales comes in and hexes everything to death, which is really nice. And it also gets a move called Weather Ball. Not Ninetales. Well, I think Ninetales actually does learn it. But Roseread gets Weather Ball. And what that does is it allows Roseread to cast a 100 power ice type move whenever it's hailing. So maybe I will bring that Icy Rock. Because not only does Roseread get it, but so does my next Pokemon. That's right. Next up is Kit Fisto. I believe Kit Fisto is the green, weird-looking guy that dies to Emperor Palpatine in the third movie. But he's awesome, even though Jolteon's not green. But that's okay. I got Jolteon. This thing has got a great speed in 130. I outspeed a lot of things with this. I don't think my previous team had anything faster than... What was the fastest Pokemon on my last draft team? There wasn't much, I'll tell you that. I wasn't very happy about that, so I went ahead and drafted Jolteon. Jolteon? My god, is it fast. 130. This thing is gonna pretty much outspeed anything that doesn't have a scarf or isn't also, like Jolteon. Super frail and super fast. It doesn't have the most amazing move pool, but it does some things pretty well. It gets Volt Switch, so I got more, Volt Switch U-turn going on. It gets Shadow Ball, which, 110 special attack's pretty good. So, people don't want to take a Specs Shadow Ball from anything. So that's pretty nice, I guess. We get another Wish Passer, which is really cool. But one of the best things about it is with Hail, it gets Weather Ball, and Electric and Ice type coverage hits everything neutral except for one Pokemon, and that would be Rotom Heat. And they don't want to take a Shadow Ball. Let's be fair. That hits it neutrally as well. So yeah, Bolt Beam gets great coverage. So I'm really happy to have Jolteon here, and it's another immunity. So yay, I get another electric immunity, and that's 2 of them now. And there's one other thing it does. It gets Baton Pass, and I can Baton Pass an agility onto any of those Pokemon, like my Giganta Max Pokemon, or maybe Jirachi, or anyone for that matter. Particularly the next Pokemon, which really, 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 really pairs well with Jolteon, and even Flareon, and that would be Ki-Adi-Mundi, the Gyarados. Yes, this is a Pokemon returning from my last team. A Pokemon that I honestly did not think I was going to go near in this draft, but I actually managed to get, some Pokemon that pair very well with it. Jirachi loves Gyarados being around to take any Earthquake or any fire type move. That's great. Flygon and Jolteon can take any electric type move from that Gyarados might be concerned about. Our Ninetales can set up an Aurora Veil for Gyarados to Dragon Dance under. And with Moxie, our Jolteon can Baton Pass agility to this thing to make up for its low speed. And then I just start getting kills with it. That attack goes up and up and up. I could do a lot of damage with it. Especially if I'm hitting Pokemon that have been weakened by our Roseread's Toxic Spikes, or any of the other hazards for that matter. Yeah, this is a great member of the team. And I did need a pretty good water type. And this is it. This is it. I'm really psyched about this. I totally don't care about losing my Chandelure. when losing my Rotom Heat, because I got an amazing poke, and I'm really happy to have it. What else? What else we got? Next up, I needed a strong physical wall that was, you know, pretty bulky and also able to set up stealth rocks. Because right now my only stealth rocker is Jirachi, and I don't want to run stealth rocks on it every week. It's the same issue I had with Mew, where it's like, okay, I can't have Mew run stealth rocks. I can't have my Dynamax run stealth rocks. I need another Pokemon to set up stealth rocks for me. And I also need a strong physical wall. So what did I get? Pokmon Krell. Yes. Here we go. Pokmon Krell. This is one of the more obscure Jedis. Only true Star Wars fans know who he is. Oh, yeah. So, this thing has amazing coverage in its move pool. It gets the elemental punches, it gets Edgequake, it gets Outrage, it gets Mega Horn, and it gets Rock Polish. It can do some crazy setup sweeps with Swords Dance. It gets Rock Polish, it gets Curse. So this is actually the only really slow Pokemon I have with 40 speed. Grimmsnarl has 60, and the rest are actually really fast. The next slowest is Gyarados at 81. So yeah, I needed something on the slower side. Otherwise, Trick Room is just going to run through my team. And this thing is my counter to Trick Room. This thing gets Curse, so I can up my attack and defense even further while dropping my speed in Trick Room. So that's something to think about. We have another electric immunity. Oh yeah, another teammate for Gyarados. I actually have a team that can support that monster. And I'll actually show you guys how great of a Pokemon Gyarados is when he has a team to support him. Because I did not have one last time. So yeah, that's my Stealth Rocker. Intermission number 2. Once again, I had the Pokemon that I wanted to pick next sniped from me. I really, really wanted Scrafty, because Scrafty would have been a great fit for this team. This thing, Scrafty, for those of you who don't know, has Intimidate and Moxie like Gyarados does, but it's a slower, like, fighting dark type. So, and it's really bulky, like really amazingly bulky. So under Aurora Veil or with Baton Pass, this thing could set up and just be an absolute killer. Unfortunately, it got sniped, and I even almost took it over Rhyperior because I really wanted it, but I needed that rocker. And looking at what the rest of the pool had available, I wasn't going to get a tier 3 rocker that I liked if I took Scrafty and Rhyperior. Rhyperior would not have made it back to me. Whereas if I missed Scrafty, there were 2 or 3 other Pokemon I was willing to take in its stead. And that's what I did. So, our next Pokemon, another returning member from our previous team. It is Passimian, who I am nicknaming ObiWan, the greatest of the Jedi. Only true Star Wars fans know who ObiWan is. He's very obscure. Nobody else knows him. So yeah, we got ObiWan Kenobi over here. It's Passimian, our monkey's back. We've got another strong physical attacker. We've got, this one has good speed. Pretty bulky too, with 100 HP, 90 defense. A bit weak in the special defense department, but that's okay. We've got another U-turner, which is great. We now have 3 U-turners and a Volt Switcher. I'm going to have lots of momentum on my side. It's got a decent move pool. Edgequake? Does it get Stone Edge? I don't know if it gets Stone Edge. I know it gets a Rock type move. It might not be Stone Edge or Rock Slide. Now that I think about it, probably isn't either. It's probably Rock Tomb. But hey, it gets it. It gets Seed Bomb. Gets Knock Off, which is huge. I don't have a knocker on this team. I do now. It's a very good Scarfer, a very good Bander, and its Defiant is going to punish anyone who gets up Sticky Webs, which is one thing we ended up not getting One of these days I'll get a sticky web team. That's okay, that day's not today. So, that's our fighting type. It's very strong. I can't wait to click close combat with it. I can't wait to bulk up with it. I'm going to do so many awesome things. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Our next pick is Plo Koon. Oh, Plo Koon is the goofiest looking Jedi. You have no idea. Anyway, we finally got our fire type Pokemon. There was nothing after Chandelure and Rotom Heat. There was nothing I was willing to take until the 5th round. And this is a 5th round pick. It is Flareon. Or not 5th round, a 5th tier pick. Sorry. It's the 10th round I picked it up in. So this thing has okay speed at 65. It's not going to be running speed. So it's probably going to be slower than whatever I come in on. But its attack, once again, is really high. The last 3 Pokemon I have, the lowest attack stat is... Oh, the last 4 Pokemon I have, the lowest attack stat is 120. So that is amazing. Special attack, surprisingly good. 95 gets Shadow Ball, gets Overheat. I can do some shenanigans with that, just like I could with Chandelure, although it's not as strong and fast or anything as good. It's special defense. This is probably the highest def on any Pokemon I have, which doesn't bode really well, but, you know, Assault Vest is a thing. That is one of the weaknesses of my draft, is I do not have a lot of good Spadef switch-ins. I might look to patch that up later. So anywho, Flareon, once again, we have another Wish Passer. We've got another Baton Passer, although I don't think it gets anything great. In fact, it gets a lot of moves that reduce stats, so probably won't be Baton Passing with it. And it's another Pokemon I can actually run mixed with decent attack as well. So yeah, the fire type is something I really needed on this team, because I've got some weaknesses to fire, fairy, and ice, and this thing patches it up. So I'm glad for that. Although I do have some, I do have quite a few fire resists as well. So that is the 10th Pokemon, but this is an 11 round draft. So I had to pick the best Pokemon in the game, the best Pokemon of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Emperor. You might know him as Frank, but he is the Senate. Yes, I got Emperor Palpatine. This is a weird pick, but hey, it's the last pick I have. All the good Pokemon are off the board. All the good tier 5 Pokemon are off the board. We had to get something, and this thing is surprisingly good. 69 speed. Nice. Given it a Violate, those bad defensive and special defensive stats, they go up. I give myself a Swift Swimmer, a Water Absorber, and hey, it even has Hydration. So, yeah. It's not going to be an amazing attacker or sweeper, but hey, it gives me another electric immunity that Gyarados loves, a water immunity, which, you know, hey, water immunity. It can actually 1v1 Dracovish. So yeah, there's that. It gets Toxic and Stealth Rock. I think I already said that. It gets Scald, can burn things. And hey, it gets Weather Ball. So it gets that 100 ice type attack too. And it can set Hail for if that's important. I don't think it is. But yeah, that's the Emperor. The strongest Pokemon of all time. Alright. So, that's the team. I think it's awesome. I'm really happy with it. I got a lot of variety of sort of different playstyles I can go with in terms of, you know, each Pokemon I have can run like 3 or 4 different good sets on them. Well, maybe not each, but like the ones that matter do. I have Taunters, I have Stealth Rock, I have Defog, I have Spikes, I have Toxic Spikes, I have Grounded Poison, I have... Actually, I only have 1 Defog and it's Flygon. That could be an issue. Might want to address that. Anywho, yeah, I can set up screens with Grimsnarl and Ayla, Sakura, the Ninetales. Yeah, I can baton pass. I've got 3 baton passers in Jirachi, Jolteon, and Flareon. So I can pass speed. I can pass defense. I can pass special physical attack. I can do a lot of crazy things with baton pass. This team has got to be difficult to prep for because I've got so many pokes that have good mixed sets, either physical or special. I've got just so many different ways to win. I've got so many setup sweepers that you have to be afraid of, and I don't really have any major weaknesses. I'm trying to look at like how I would beat this team with just something, and nothing really comes to mind. I just have that good of a variety, and you're never gonna figure out what I'm gonna bring before I bring it. So really psyched about this team. I'm hoping to win. Of course. So far I've only won 1 set of 3 games, but hey, it was the last game. Those first 2 were warm-ups. Now I'm all warmed up. I'm ready to go. I've got a sick team. And yeah, gonna have a great time this season. So stay tuned. My goal, I'm going to be happy with this season and this team if I make the playoffs, and that is my goal. I doubt I'm going to win the playoff. I doubt I'm going to win the league on my first full time running one of these, but hey, I'm going to do great with this team because I got the Senate. Got the entire Senate on my side. Oh yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. The first battle goes up. Oh god, I don't know when it goes up. I don't think it's been announced yet. Nothing's been truly scheduled. I'm recording this way in advance. So, yeah, pay attention. I'll post a team builder, and when the team builder goes up, you'll know that the match is going to go up. I think it's going to be posted on Sunday after the team builder. So, yeah, stay tuned on the Sundays. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.